So I guess it's time to start. What do you think?
Hello. Yes, I'm ready. So yeah, I think we can start.
Yeah, so great. Welcome everyone to today's CMA session. We're excited to have you here with us. I'm Sophie, representing CoinRabbit, a leading crypto lending platform that provides seamless and secure lending solutions in the cryptocurrency space. Our mission is to make crypto lending accessible and easy for everyone while ensuring that our users have a safe and trustworthy experience. And today we are joined by HAPI Protocol, a security and reputation protocol that provides on chain activity scoring for businesses and users by leveraging AI and machine learning algorithms. So tell me more about your platform and introduce yourself.
Thank you for the intro. So my name is Alex. I'm doing mostly business development at HAPI. We do a lot of things around security and reputation scoring. So right now we're focused more so on creating reputation score for hot wallet and for other dApps that require, for example, to get rid of bots and to reward their users more fairly. So what we do is we basically screen the dApp or the protocol or the project for the how many people are active. So we screen for on-chain activity, and we can detect if there are how many and if there are any bots. So and we can get rid of those bots and basically reward active users more effectively. So what it means for users is that they will get more rewards, and their rewards will be more. That basically they will have more rewards because there won't be many bots. So that's the idea. Right now we work with Hot Wallet mainly. So thanks to Hot Wallet, we can access a lot of because Hot has a lot of users. We can screen and help Hot to identify bots and make sure that all users of Hot Wallet can get their airdrop or can get their tokens in fair way. Our second use case is more so directed towards businesses. So what we do is we do anti-money laundering, which is quite a bit more complicated. And if there is a need to explain that, we can also talk about that. But in basic terms, it's basically helps agencies and enforcement agencies to detect malicious agents, malicious actors, and help to get rid of them. And if there are any money laundering activities, we can help detect those.
That's great. Thank you for such interesting introduction, and it was really interesting to know this. And I have a question, like as the DeFi space grows, it's becoming increasingly susceptible to various cybersecurity risks. So, how does HAPI Protocol specifically address these challenges to enhance platform security and user trust?
On the side of businesses, we help them to have regulatory trustworthiness. So, for example, if they want to be regulatory compliant, they can go to HAPI and they can say, here we need that and that, so that we want to be compliant with those regulations. And because we provide ML tools for that, they can easily access our ML tools and basically ensure that they don't have any AML transgressions around those regulations. And we also can provide them with the, I would say, peace of heart for example, if some users maliciously laundering money through their platform, which is not good both in regulatory space and also not good for the reputation of the project itself. So yeah, that's one of the cases. How we do that is basically we provide two tiers. One of them is free tier, which is accessible for all DeFi projects. And one of them is more enterprise tier, which is more so centered around providing the enforcement agencies and more so business I would say, business-oriented projects and those who need more compliance, they can use enterprise solutions of HAPI as well. So there are two tiers which tackle different kind of aspects, but in general, it is still compliance, AML, and yeah.
Thank you for touching upon being compliant. And I have another question. How does HAPI help platforms stay updated and compliant with global financial regulations as they change all the time?
Well, first of all, we have AML officers that do exactly that. Unfortunately, I'm not the most competent to answer that kind of question, but what I can say is that we have ML officers always on guard in terms of the latest regulatory updates, so that we can in time and live update our framework if needed. Also, we have the system in place which automatically can update based on the, for example, if any particular project needs to tweak something in our AML system, they can do so. We're kind of proud of how flexible HAPI tools are and how accessible they are. So that's how we are staying up to date with regulatory updates and how we try to be up to date with our systems.
Thank you for such a detailed answer. And our community also was wondering that one of HAPI's key solutions is its wallet reputation scoring system. So, how does this system operate to prevent fraudulent transactions, and why is it so vital for protecting?
So, first of all, it's based on our risk scoring algorithm. So one of the ways that we can trace and track on-chain activities that we access the blockchain itself. So it kind of helps us the fact that blockchain is open. So, it is the ledger, so it's easily to access. What we do then is we parse that data, and we can basically say that what certain addresses interacted with what kind of protocols, what they did, what kind of activities they do. All of that is easily accessible. And basically what we do is we basically parse data with the help of our own algorithms. We can then compartmentalize the data and say that, for example, a certain address can be considered a bot, but we don't say that straightforward. We have a certain risk or a certain reputation score from 0 to 100. So what it does, it basically scores an address on the scale from 0 to 100. And for example, a user that has a score higher than 30 is not considered a bot. But those below might be there might be a risk of them being a bot. So why we do that is to have more flexibility for protocols and dApps to know what kind of users they have, and they can basically set up thresholds and set up scores that they allow for users to be rewarded or get airdrops and so on. So for example, in Hot Wallet, we do a lot of stuff for users. We provide a lot of airdrops, and we try to incentivize users to get higher scores. This is good for both Hot Wallet and us. And of course, users, because users can get airdrops based on their risk score. And we also reward users with a lot of side activities. They can get NFTs, and a lot of incentivizations are in place to ensure that all of our users are incentivized to an extent. And of course, for CoinRabbit users, we can also provide a lot of incentivizations, which they might find useful. And the CoinRabbit itself might benefit from the fact that they will know what kind of users they have, what their users do on chain, and how they can effectively reward their users.
That is something interesting that we might consider. And you mentioned that your system categorizes users according to its scoring system. And in this case, I have a question that might be a challenge that automated security systems can detect false positives. So, how does HAPI ensure that legitimate transactions aren't flagged as suspicious while still maintaining high security?
It's quite difficult to ensure that we have high specificity. So what we can do is we have a lot of conditions, a lot of built-in conditions for addresses to check and give score. So, for example, one of the simple ones is to have a certain amount of assets in the wallet, a certain amount of activities within the blockchain. But we also score far more specific data sets, which I cannot name. It's kind of confidential and closed source. But in general, we have because we have so many conditions on which we score users. And their on-chain activity, we can, with high confidence, say that certain addresses are not bots and certain addresses can be considered bots. Again, we cannot say that confidently enough, and that's why there's a scoring in place from 0 to 100, because you cannot be certain in all cases. So what we can do is we can give platforms and projects and businesses educated guess on what they have, and then those platforms, projects, and dApps can stop thresholds based on that. And that's basically how we ensure that we basically give all of the rights to the platform to decide how specific they want to be and how strict they want to be with their users.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. Was really interesting to know. And I have a question about using machine learning for your detection systems. So, how does machine learning enhance HAPI's ability to detect and mitigate threats in real time?
We basically use AI and machine learning to process data. So by the way of processing data with machine learning, it helps us to basically accelerate the way we process that data. So for example, if we need to process a lot of data on the blockchain, we use AI to help us parse the data and compartmentalize the data more effectively. So that's basically one of the ways we use machine learning. And it helps us tremendously to also be more efficient, which is good because recently we have a lot of requests and those requests need to be updated quite frequently. And sometimes the algorithm needs to be updated, and AI and machine learning specifically helps us to be quick and to be efficient in this regard.
So, as I've understood, machine learning helps you to handle the increasing demand and ensure that you remain competitive and effective as the market evolves.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the main use cases right now for AI that we have, and I think AI in general kind of shines when it's all about parsing data or making sure that the data that you need is categorized correctly. So that's one of the main use cases. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And let's talk about some partnerships and collaborations, as strategic partnerships can enhance a protocol's effectiveness. So, what key collaborations has HAPI formed to strengthen its positions and capabilities within the blockchain ecosystem?
We usually divide our partnerships in two kind of categories. One of them is being businesses that we help to, for example, to provide them with AML security in general, and just safety. So we provide them with the ML tools, and they use those ML tools to have KYT, which is know your transactions, where they can see the risk of the transaction and the address that comes into their platform. And we also have DeFi, more centered partnerships, one of them being Hot Wallet, but we also have a lot of partnerships with bridges, with DeFi protocols, lending protocols, and so on. So I would say that we kind of tap in both markets, one of them being more so business oriented and one of them being more so DeFi and user centric.
Yeah, that seems to be like great strategy. And as you mentioned that you partner with both, how easily can HAPI be integrated into DeFi platforms or, for instance, centralized exchanges? Are there any specific technical requirements according to which you choose partners?
It usually depends on the partner's requests. So usually it depends also on the depth of integration. So when it comes to just simple API calls, it usually takes less than a day to set everything up. But when clients or customers or DeFi projects protocols have, for example, specific requests, or they need to be there is a need to be for a more tailored experience, we can provide that as well, but that might take a bit more time. But since we have been in crypto and in business in general for more than 4 years, I would say that we have everything set up and ready. So even if there is a specific request that we need to fulfill, we can easily do so, and we are much more flexible, and we have already, fixed solutions for most of the common problems.
So that's great to hear that you have everything set up. And do you plan to implement any new features or improvements that users or partners can expect in the near future to further enhance security and compliance?
I would say when it comes to compliance and security, instead of innovating on new features, it's more so necessary to update the existing features and make sure that all of the features in place are working. They're coherent with each other and they're working effectively. So instead of innovating, we are making sure that everything is working as intended. And we also, again, with AI being on the forefront right now of technological development, we're trying to make sure that we're also not lagging behind. And we have, we have AI in place to ensure data processing and more efficient data processing. So I would say when it comes to the future of security will be more so, again, related to AI. And I hope that we can predict a more, for example, when something happens or when something is about to happen, we can predict that before that happens. So that's the whole idea of the future of security. So we're trying to also tap into that. But I think in terms of the innovations, it's more so poignant to be on top of things instead of innovation for security's case.
Yeah, I believe that this is the right approach to just enhance that you already have and to make that everything you do is working perfectly. So I think that this is kind of approach that we implement as well at CoinRabbit. So also what I think that education is essential to promoting best practices as you evolve and as you partner with new companies and exchanges. So does HAPI offer any resources or programs to educate the crypto community on cybersecurity, for instance?
Yeah, we have almost everything we have is quite open source. And we also have a few features, like, for example, we have our own extension for MetaMask, where users can basically get our extension for MetaMask, they're called MetaMask snaps. They can install our snap, our extension, HAPI extension, and they can, for example, it prevents them from interacting with certain phishing websites, or it can warn them if they interact with certain addresses that those addresses can be risky, or those, again, phishing links. We can prevent those. So we have a few features for users, and but I think most users right now are mostly our users are interested in airdrops, which we do quite often, and which we also do with Hot Wallet jointly. And a lot of people here also are probably interested about airdrops, and I would say that we are going to have airdrop this week, so that so that those users who are interested about that are satisfied now, and they're not going to ask those questions. So we are going to have airdrop this week. And about the user-centric security, I would say that the best you can do is have those kind of security extensions, like HAPI MetaMask Snap, or Wallet Guard, or other security extensions for your wallet, which can prevent you from interacting with phishing links, which are the most common way people get scammed and drained. So I would highly recommend having those.
Thank you for this recommendation, and it's great to hear about upcoming airdrop. And also, as I see comments, community is wondering about Score, when it will be listed. So if you can elaborate on this, I think our listeners will be just really happy.
Yes, so we're definitely aiming for this week, as I mentioned before, and we are gonna have hopefully everything set up before Thursday. Again, these things can change, and I hope they won't. We had quite a bit of technical difficulties before, and unfortunately, those can kind of blemish your reputation quite a bit. So hopefully, those won't happen again. Again, my apologies to having delays. Those can happen, and I hope people can understand that sometimes those are inevitable. But again, we're hoping for this week, and we are gonna make sure that we deliver listings and distributions and airdrops for this week.
Thank you for clarification. And we have a few questions from our listeners. Will you be open to answer?
I can predict what those questions might be, but sure.
Yeah, so then I will invite Arslan to speak. So, Arslan, you can now ask your question. Okay, so I guess we've already discussed what Arslan wanted to ask. So I will invite another person who requested for joining our AMA session.
Hi, am I audible?
Hi, you can now ask your question.
Okay, so my question was the AI website is for AI agents. So can we expect the score token to have an AI agent alongside the launch?
Yeah, that's. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the idea exactly. So that's why we kind of waited for that platform to launch so that both can coincide so that we can launch Score on that platform. So yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah. Well, all the best for the listing.
Sorry?
All the best for the listing. I was curious about the AI part, and my doubt has been solved now.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks.
you. Have a nice one.
Thank you for your question. So I guess for now we don't have any questions left, and I also don't see anyone who wants to ask something. So I think I can thank Alex for today's AMA session and for providing such a detailed answers and covering all the aspects that our communities wanted to know. And I just wish you to continue working to build a safer and more secure DeFi system.
Thank you. And again, I wouldn't say my answers were that detailed, but hopefully I responded to the most important questions, especially for the community. I think the airdrop question was the most important one, and hopefully we really solved that. And thank you, CoinRabbit, for setting everything up. And thank you, all of you, for being part of this AMA. And everyone, have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Bye bye.